to make with Tua with regard to that progressions first read, etc.
Yeah, no change. I think that's the thing that, to further answer the question, I think it's one of the things that Tua has done the best at is somebody's thing stopped, said memory for me here, but anyway. So one of the things that he's done the best is, last year, because it was new offense, there was a lot of times where number one was open, and we just throw it to number one. Obviously, people see how you do things, and you get defended certain ways, and so you have to make sure that you master the whole play and the full progression. And I think that's something that Tua has really taken to this year, and he's adapted really well. That there have been times where one's not open, and because of the timing and how he's continued to work with learning the progression, but also with his feet, he's been able to progress, and it's been pretty seamless.
So Coach Bev, in that little segment, he defended the question about Tua Tagovailoa being a first-read quarterback by essentially saying he was a first-read quarterback and that he's getting better. But the question remains, that's what he's saying. What are defensive players and defensive coaches saying about Tua being a one-read quarterback? Listen to what Darius Slay from the Philadelphia Eagles had to say about Tua, although his accuracy is unchallenged, being a first-read quarterback.
And with Tua being a very, very accurate quarterback and great decision maker, our game plan was just basically, make him make more than one read and get on his read fast, what I'm saying?
So the defensive backs from the Philadelphia Eagles going into the Eagles game, the same as the Buffalo Bills, had a game plan to make Tua look beyond his first read.
He's a great guy. He's on time. And that's what it's like. He's like a Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? If you ever seen Drew Brees play, he's a guy that's very much on time, know how to throw in spots that's, they expect the receiver to be there. So
he throws to a spot expecting a receiver to be there. That's what a lot of people have been saying about Tua from day one, that he throws to a spot and he's a first read quarterback. Bev came out and said, yeah, that's what we kind of had him do last year. He's gotten better, but the defenses that the Miami Dolphins are playing are still looking at him as a one-read quarterback who throws to a spot. Not me. I didn't say that. You're listening to somebody who played against him on Sunday with the Philadelphia Eagles, who said their game plan was to adjust to the fact that making Tua look for his second and third reads.
Our job was to disguise our defense as long as possible to make him second guess his read.
He said it. Our job as a defense was to ignore the motion up front, don't pay attention to it, wait until Tua decides he's going to make a move, and then once he makes a move, then go ahead and react and look to take away that first read and make him go to a second and third read. I said that for a long time. People have gotten pissed off at me, but you can't get pissed off at me if the defenses are telling you that's what they're doing. I see so many Dolphins fans, every time I mention that, get all kinds of ticked off and try to downvote videos and try to do everything again to get me to shut up. And I'm trying to bring you the truth. The truth is, Coach Bev says, yeah, he was a one-read quarterback. Take it if it's open. But the defense is saying, hey, we've watched enough film on this guy at this point, and what we're going to do, and we feel we're confident in doing it, is taking away that first read and making him go elsewhere and disguising the defense so he doesn't know what they're going to react to. As I said in one of my past videos, you have to have great personnel to be able to do that. Some of the teams the Miami Dolphins have beaten just haven't had the personnel to execute in that manner. But it's obvious that the playoff caliber teams who have playoff caliber defenses are able to do that. It's not a suggestion. It's not a dig on Tua. It's not a dig on Mike McDaniel. It's the absolute truth. They believe, and they've shown by two big wins, not going to get into the penalties thing with Philadelphia, but they've shown that if they can take him off of his first read, it may be problematic for Tua. So what does Tua say about that? Knowing in this same press conference, Coach Bev just came out and said Tua is progressing nicely. He's beyond looking at his first read. Then you just heard a defensive back from the Philadelphia Eagles say, this is what we're going to force him to do. What did Tua say about progressing from the first read? Listen to what he says right here.
Tua, I know you played this team, about a month and a half ago, the Patriots. What can you download from that game to maybe take on? I know they played a lot of the 3 safety to try to take Tyreek out. Like as you game plan this week, different corner out there now, but how much can you copy that game plan, tweak from that, because of how close the games are together?
All right, so reporter asked him, what are you doing to game plan for the Patriots, knowing that what they did the first time they met and what they've added with J.C. Jackson coming in now to, strengthen up their defensive secondary. J.C. Jackson, who got burned by Tyreek against the Los Angeles Chargers, but in any event, they brought in basically an all-pro cornerback to really help with their situation. So what are you going to do differently to attack the Patriots, different than that of, the Bills or the Eagles?
Yeah, I think as you look at the first game, the way they played against our offense, to me, it's they changed some of what they do defensively, but then they also got back into what they ran normally, and so we're expecting some of that. I think the most important thing for our offense is we're really going to have to hammer down, the formations, hammer down the things that we have to know, and then as we go out there, we're going to have to nail it. We're going to have to execute the plays and the plan that Mike has set out for us, and. I think the guys are excited when we're able to go out there and see things that we're not normally accustomed to seeing, because that's not what we practiced against. It's more so reverting back to your training. And, if the read doesn't tell you to throw it there, don't throw it there. Continue on.
If the read isn't there, don't throw it there. We are going into the 8th week of the NFL season. 8th week of the NFL season. And Tua just said, again, almost in reinforcing himself, if the read's not there, don't take it. If the read's not there, don't take it. Which means they're anticipating during the Patriots game for them to take away the first read. It has worked with the Bills. It has worked with the Philadelphia Eagles. And so now they've got to begin anticipating that being taken away. Easier said than done. Tyreek's amazing. Waddle's amazing. But if they can do that, they think that they can keep it close. They've got the game plan now. They've seen it a couple weeks in a row. And one thing Tua said there was the guys are excited about doing something different because of things they haven't seen before. So now that tells me, and should tell you if you're dissecting these press conferences, that McDaniel has come in and said, we got to do something. We got to shake this up. These guys are on to us. Maybe we do less motion. Maybe we do more motion. Whatever it is, we have to shake this up. They understand what our offense is all about. They understand, Tua, that they're going to sit on your first read. You're going to have to really look some guys off. You're going to have to make them think this is your first read and then go over here. All of your skills, like he said, execution, all of your execution is going to have to be designed to confuse the defense, because their job, as Darius Slay said, is to confuse you. So right now we've got a Belichickian McDaniel chess match getting ready to be played on Sunday, where both of these guys have in their mind, I can stop your guy by making him go to a first read. All right, Bill, let me throw a checkmate in here. I can get my guy to go to a different read that your guys aren't thinking is going to be the read. I love this. I love that a chess match is being played, that Belichick and McDaniel both realize there's something here that the other team can't stop. And right now, who knows if Tyreek is going to play. I believe that Mike McDaniel said he is going to play. Don't know if that was a chess move to throw Bill off in terms of what he thought his coverage was going to be. I don't think that would work. Bill Belichick he's going to scheme his defense. Doesn't matter what receiver's out there. He's going to scheme it for Tua. He is going to scheme his defense just like the Bills did, just like the Eagles did, to take away Tua's first read. Obviously, none of that matters if you don't get to the quarterback. With Matthew Judon hurt and out for maybe the rest of the season after he has his bicep surgery, I don't know if the Patriots have the horses up front like the Eagles did. Without the pass rush, it doesn't matter if Tua has 1 read, 2 reads, or 3 reads. He's going to find somebody open. Doesn't matter. You have to stop the first read, and the only reason that matters is because at that point, then you're hoping your front 4, front 7 can get pressure on Tua. If there's no pressure, doesn't matter if you stop the first read because now he'll just look the other way. He's got time. That's what McDaniel has to hope for, that the offensive line this week, however makeshift it is, can give Tua the time, maybe bring in a fullback, maybe keep it tight-ended. Whatever you need to do to give Tua time to get to that second and third progression, that's going to be a key to this game. That's what I really feel, because now people are on to what Tua is doing, what Mike McDaniel is doing, and they realize they've got to take away that first read. As I've said in another video, you're not going to stop Tyreek Hill. If he's hurt, maybe he's a little gimpy right now, but you're not going to stop Tyreek Hill. He's going to get his catches, and if he gets open, Tua's going to hit him for a bomb, and it's going to be 6. What you want to do is contain Tyreek Hill. Don't give him as many touches. Be there, be in his face as soon as he catches the ball. So the key for the Miami Dolphins to basically win at this point is to, as Tua said, execute flawlessly. Give him time to look for a second and third read if it's there, and then there's no way Patriots are going to stop him. Everyone is game planning around keeping Tua off balance and confused on his first read, but that only works if you can pressure him. If you can't get pressure, he's going to pick you apart. He's going to slice and dice you down the field. There's too many weapons. So I think it's vitally important in the Patriots game. The one key to this game, usually I do 5 keys. I'm not even going to do that this week. There's one key. That one key is the offensive line, period. The offensive line, however makeshift it is, has to give Tua time. I think against the Patriots, they're not facing the Eagles front 7. I think they're going to be able to give Tua the time he needs to get through his progressions and slice and dice the New England Patriots. It may be close, but that all depends upon how much time he actually has. Running game will give him more time as well. The offensive line, key there as well. You're going to have to block. If you don't block at open holes, what good is it? I mean, we're talking about Connor Williams may or may not play, may or may not start. They're saying he will play. So, you know that Isaiah Wynn is on IR. So it's not the full offensive line. And right now, teams are drooling. They feel it coming. They think this is how he can stop Tua. Pressure up front, take away first read. You're a defensive coordinator right now, pressure up front, take away his first read. That's going to be the key. But Tua did drop some other nuggets about the team in general, so let's go over some of that stuff.
We heard that Jaylen Ramsey was Scout Team Player of the Week last week. From your perspective, what was it like going against him during apparently a prolific week of practice?
Now watch when he talks about Jaylen Ramsey and the smile that breaks out on his face. It's going to be exciting to see Jaylen Ramsey finally take the field, for sure.
He had a really good week. Very impressive how he runs with our fast guys, how he transitions in and out of breaks with them. Some of them, it was almost mirrored while our guys were running full speed. And for him to break down on a dime the way that they break down is very impressive. So
that is a sight to see. You're telling me he can cover Tyreek Hill foot in a foot race? He can go right with him and break him down? That's some exciting news.
We're hopefully getting that guy wrenched up to go into the game, or hopefully we get him back sometime soon.
That is incredible. Guy tears his knee apart, and within a couple months, he's back out on the field. That tells me that maybe it's not crazy that Aaron Rodgers will be back for the Jets as well. I don't know what's going on in medicine these days. I don't know how these guys are doing this. It's almost superhuman. When I had my, medial MCL, I had a medial collateral ligament, and I had to get scoped, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to play again. It took forever for it to heal. Modern medicine is just amazing. And the fact that Jaylen Ramsey is even being thought of playing and seemingly has all of his speed back as well, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure the Dolphins are just loving that. So one thing they're not loving, and we know this for a fact, is being forced into participating with Hard Knocks. I don't know why the NFL is doing this. To me, it's a huge distraction. It's one thing to be on Hard Knocks during preseason. It's another to be on Hard Knocks in season. Hey guys, we're preparing for these games that actually mean something. These aren't preseason games. These aren't guys getting cut. You want to be in my face with a camera? I don't think so. I mean, somebody like Tyreek will eat it up with his podcast and him playing for the cameras. I'm sure Tyreek's going to eat it up, but that's not something that obviously Tua, the private person that he is, wants to be involved in whatsoever. And from what he says, there's a few other Dolphins that, kind of cold on the idea. Take a listen.
Will do their best, and her team will do their best to help, keep a lot of us out of trouble. So, yeah.
For you, is it more this is just another obligation I'm going to have, or is it you just don't like camera that much?
I'm just not a big attention guy. I understand it comes with the territory, and I am able to use my platform, for bigger things. But as far as me doing something silly purposefully, outside of football, it's just different for me. I like to keep things private in how I do things, but this isn't just about me. This isn't something that's for me. This is something for the entire team, and the entire team has to figure out how they go about that as well. So I know having conversations with some guys in the locker room that, for them it's going to be tough as well. So we're all going to work through this together.
It's a shame that they have to, quote, work through it. It's a shame that the NFL thrust this on the Dolphins and said, basically, you got to take it. I doubt any of the guys, well, maybe a few, but I doubt most of the guys in the locker room want this kind of distraction midway through the season. You got to go to Germany and play. You got to come back from Germany. You got to face the Cowboys. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts to just want to make this team, force this team into doing Hard Knocks in season. I don't think this series Hard Knocks has much longer to go at all. So many teams are like, hey, I'm done with this. I'm done with you sticking a camera in my face. I'm not that guy. I'm not letting you in my house. I'm not going to go have dinner or play miniature golf so you can film me. I'm not interested. And as a professional football player, you should have the option to go, I pass. I think it's wrong for the NFL to push this on guys. It's bad enough that you force them to do post-game interviews. It's bad. You guys remember Marshawn Lynch? Marshawn Lynch would go to interviews, just sit there. I'm only here because they'll find me. Yep, I'm only here because they make me come. You want that kind of attitude? That doesn't make for good television. And then you're going to make stuff up, like Tua said. I don't want to do something out of character just for good television. That tells me everything you need to know. I don't want to do something out of character just for good television. No, I don't go to clubs. I'm not a bar guy. Nope, I don't do that. I'm not sorry, I can't do it. You want to film us bowling? Okay, we go once in a while. You can film us bowling. That's fun. But I'm not doing any of the crazy stuff I've seen some of these guys do on Hard Knocks. Just not going to happen. So let me know what you think about Tua being a one-read quarterback, and if the defenses are really going to scheme that way, what do you think Mike McDaniel can do to overcome that? And also let me know what you think about Jaylen Ramsey finally coming back, and how much you expect to see him play, and how much can the offensive line take? Another injury, and these guys are toast. Let me know what you think, and stay tuned for the next block.